to another version of our professional integration series. This is a 2011 Dodge Ram 2500 Lariat we just finished for one of our clients. We're going to start at the very front of the vehicle. The front of the paint was fully protected in our paint protection system. Because the front of the vehicle is steel, we don't do anything on the steel, but we did protect the clear plastic on the whole headlight. This whole fender was all wrapped and rolled, as well as the hood, even in the louvers here, and the back of the door trims and the step-ins. Because this client does drive a little bit faster, we wanted to do a full built-in radar and laser defense system. The active laser jammer is on the front of the vehicle. There's also a radar sensor behind the front clip of the car itself. There's something right here, which we'll get into a little bit later. It's something a little bit unique because of the type of application this car is used in. Now, on this truck, we provide a high-performance battery under the hood to keep up with all the enhanced audio and electronics to provide better sound as well as performance during the actual system. We did our window treatment. This is what we call a 3-4 blend on the sides, as well as our heat reflective overlay on the privacy glass on the sides and the rear, as well as some heat reflection on the front of the vehicle. Now, when the truck started out, it's very hollow, so there is stage 3 sound preparation throughout all the doors, as well as a stage 2 barrier on the entire floor of the vehicle itself. Let's go on the back of the truck. We provided this motorized tunnel bed cover. What that does is it gives you infinite control to allow you to open up the controller. You can again stop it in midpoint or start it anywhere from when it opens up to when it closes. These are something a little bit unique, which we'll get into in just a moment, and very simple one button push. At that point, it closes the entire system. You don't have to jockey around and mess with all the little clips and latches like a lot of the systems are that you have to manually do. The rear of the vehicle, you're going to see another active laser diffusion system. There's also a radar sensor in the rear of the vehicle. For easier, safer backing up, we added our multi-view camera system into the factory taillight lens, the handle. That way when you come into when you're going in reverse, it's easier to see and safer. When we go onto the interior of the car itself, we'll show you a couple things that we did. I'll have you guys hop in the driver's side, I'll go around the passenger so how everything works. We're going to start with the active radar laser defense system. Now everyone knows they always have turn signals in any car, truck, van. Now the turn signals right now, in this case, they are green and they are still there. The main cluster was removed out of the vehicle, and what we did was we put our radar laser defense systems inside the same pod as the turn signal. So now when you see our system go on, what that will do is it will actually turn on blue. Let me shut the door here so you don't have any sort of chimes or anything. When the system actually goes on, it's going to allow us, you're going to see the blue indicators. What those blue indicators show, excuse me, the right is the rear radar detection module going off, the left is the front. They both go off when the system is actively jamming police laser. And then it gives you multiple illuminations and brightnesses as well. So again, right one is rear radar detection, left one is front. They both go off when the laser system is activated. Now the regular turn signals do still go on by all means. Now what we want to do on the media source here, we added this is what we call our Big Brother media source. This allows us better touchscreen connectivity of everything from iPod to satellite radio to Pandora to backup camera. The factory steering wheel controls were still reprogrammed, so now those are controlling our media source. This is very similar to a modern day tablet, so you can customize it to however you're going to use it. So if you're using satellite radio quite a bit, you put that as a priority. Maybe you're using HD radio more than disk, you set that as a priority. There is a navigation chipset built into the system as an app running in the background, so it is a full navigation system. And by all means, like we talked about, we wanted to be sure to capture safety, so because of that we added our multi-view camera. When you go in the rear of the truck, it gives you the guidelines, but what's really handy, especially when you're backing up to a trailer or tow vehicle, it not only shows you how far down as you're getting closer, but this allows you to go down, This is straight down over the bumper. This is our favorite angle for backing up because it allows you to see the trailer hitch and coming up to the trailer. We call picture in picture, and this is corner cam. This is off to the sides in normal blind spots of the vehicle. That is automatically activated when you go in reverse. It can also be forced through at any time during the actual service. So let's say, for instance, you are going and you are navigating to a destination. You have the navigation on here while the audio is playing here, and then you can simultaneously watch whatever you're loading on the trailer here. So it all works as one cohesive unit. Now, for years, regular audio systems, you'd have the audio and you would have the car as two different things. What we did a little bit unique on this vehicle was marry those two parts together with a special interface. And what that allows us to do is allows us to go to information on the vehicle. And in this case, the car isn't running right now, but we still know how much fuel we have. This gives us real time on the RPMs or the air intake from the truck, so it communicates in real time with the OBD2 plug. It also gives us handy information such as vehicle information. This gives us our tire pressure on every single tire in the car to be sure it's safe to drive, as well as the real-time voltage. If the check engine light ever occurs in the vehicle, you can actually scan into the check engine system and either clear code or read it simultaneously. And it also has the system where every time I open up a door or shut something, you'll see the indicators right here, multiple doors, hatch, trunk. It will show you what areas are open. This is our main nervous center of the system. Now, when it came into high performance audio, this interior was basically built with a chocolate and tan interior. Now, the factory grille had this kind of louver design we didn't care for, so when we did our high performance Italian tweeters over here, we wanted to be sure to fill this in and reverse wrap it to match the same chocolate finish, so it's keeping the two-tone theme of the factory interior, while the actual door is still aesthetically pleasing like it originally came. Now, this is kind of something trick. What we wanted to do was, this is the remote controller for the interior lighting as well as the backlighting. This is the remote control for the radar laser system. We did molds in each one of these, which are kind of hard to see, but what we do is we did magnets in the molds. So when you set them, it pulls all these remotes into place, and now they're actually part of it. So you pull them off, put them in, it just holds it in place. That way you don't have stuff flying around when you're driving. This original pocket was actually crafted back. We remolded that plastic there, retextured it to match. This is our main digital receiver controller to allow subwoofer and volume control and balance and fade for our audio package. These two switches on here, this is to copy the interior illumination, so whatever line happens on the inside also happens in the truck bed. When I turn this on here, you're going to hear a little bit of a fan. That's actually a 500 watt power inverter. It takes a normal 12 volt charging system, such as in this car, gives you a normal 110 outlet, similar to what's used here. But what we did with that was we added a plug to the back of the center console. We also added a plug to the very rear of the vehicle, and that allows our tailgating application, which we'll talk to in a moment. If you look on the interior of the car, if you look down near our feet, you're going to actually see light. And all the light has multiple colors and multiple illuminations from this remote control, and we can change through whatever those are. That's also on the back here, which I'll show you here in a moment. Let's go to the back seat. We'll show you some more of the audio. So front seat audio, preparation of the doors, floor, tweeters up here, high performance mids down here. Let's go to the back. We'll show you what's going on. Keeping in mind the original interior is this chocolate and tan, we wanted to make our fabricated custom enclosure appear like it came from Dodge as a factory option. So we did two 10-inch subwoofers under the seat. We fiberglass molded the bottom of the enclosure, and then the actual covering is wrapped in this factory leather chocolate and tan. Look under here, it's going to keep functionality of the truck at all times. Now if you look under, you'll actually see our molded enclosure. If you see the chocolate and tan right here, it looks like it came originally from the vehicle, which is what a lot of our fabrications. We want it to look like it came from the factory, but work a lot higher performance than that. Even the aluminum on the grills is to match the aluminum on the dash and the aluminum throughout the main car. And again, you'll see the lighting, it kind of overhangs throughout the entire interior, and then it also captures back into the rear. Now there's something a little bit unique. Now there are two amplifiers behind this on a steel rack. One of the amplifiers takes care of the subwoofers, the other one takes care of the front speakers. There's a third amplifier in the vehicle which is designed for the tailgating section, which we'll show you that in just a moment. Again, full functionality. Love it. That was all produced in our fabrication 1 and 2. Now if we look in the rear of the vehicle, let me open this up here. I'm going to turn on our rocker activation switch up front, and what that's going to do is now take the interior lighting and copy the same color from that into the back. We didn't want it always on because if he's not using it, it's just wasting power and depleting the life of the circuits. So let me turn it on here. You see this will illuminate. Now the same illumination that is happening in the back truck is happening simultaneously in the interior. Originally this is designed because when we do these motorized covers, when you have the cover closed, it's sometimes hard to see at night. So a lot of times we'll do it in one color, whether it's a white or blue. In this case, we want to do a multicolor application so that depending on what he's feeling like, or if he just wanted to change shirt, he can do it that way. Now if you come around to this side here, I'll show you something that we did in here. This is a custom mounted pod. And what that does is you'll see a 110 plug at the very top. That's to plug in a LCD panel. So when he goes tailgating with his vehicle, sets the panel in there, plugs it into the plug. The audio from whatever he's watching goes into the audio plug, which goes into the main system. We'll show you how it comes out in the back. And the video from the front source will now come from that source into the back of the car itself. So most people are thinking, well, okay, well, how are we going to get the sound out into the back of the vehicle? That's something kind of special. We've made some custom mounts off to either side, and what these do is allow us, you just take off these caps very simply, bring these out with you. They have handy carrying cases on each one, and what that does is now we're going to unsheath these here without any sort of wires, because it's all wired into our plug system here. This is our audio package into the rear. Now these can basically go around, which means no matter where you are around the truck, you can have audio. So if you're off to the side, you can adjust both of them so they come off this way, or if you're in the back watching a movie or watching a good game, it goes back as well. Now there's normally a pair of them. They also lock it in place. And these are a marine style speakers, so you don't have to worry about water, moisture, so if it starts raining on you, that's not a big deal for anything that we do. Now because this is a tailgating type of application in the back, we have to think about, unless you want to keep the truck running at all time to keep the battery up, and then you have to deal with the exhaust fumes from here, how are we going to keep voltage and the actual power to this? So there's a couple different circumstances. If and when this truck is ever in his garage for an extended amount of time, he can plug it in and we'll show you how that works. And then when he's at a tailgating event, we have our ultra quiet generators we put towards the front of the vehicle, plug it into an extension cord that charges everything. Let me show you how that works. Come follow me up here. Now you see an extension cord. This extension cord could be plugged into a traditional generator, a really quiet one, put about 20 feet away so it's away from the main section of audio. We talked about this plug earlier. So this is a steel mount with a marine cover. And what that does is we plug this directly right into here. And at that point, you saw the voltage go in. Now we're feeding the actual truck power. So the other side would traditionally go to a generator out in front of the vehicle, or when he's just parking this for long amounts of time at his home, he can plug into his normal home power and it'll keep the voltage up in the system. And most people are thinking, okay, well, how is this charging? What is it doing? There's a 55 amp power supply on board, which is taking this 110 volts, converting it to 12, and charging through the battery. Let me show you where the power supply itself is inside the truck. On the back section here, these compartments here, we wanted to be sure to utilize. So if you see in this compartment, you'll see the power supply in this compartment. So that takes the normal 110 power, converts it to 12 volts, that charges the entire system. So it's fully functional. So right now he's plugged in and he can rock for hours on end without having to deal with anything on the aspect of having to worry about killing his battery or having all the exhaust to deal with. Now the one thing a lot of clients ask, well, in this type of system, when you have two different zones or two different things happening, how do you activate one or the other? What we did was on the source unit itself, we have the main audio with our own amplifiers and processors doing the main side. So we had to figure out a way to design the system so when he goes into tailgating mode, at that point, he's taking the audio and shutting down the internal system and just going into the rear. Now if you go into the cockpit, I'll show you. So now we're going to show you how to activate tailgate mode. So right now we have the audio system playing on the inside of the truck with the 2 amplifiers in the rear as well as the speakers and subwoofers. So we have all the sound playing as we speak. Now to activate tailgate mode, we did a custom setup on here where you select the external switch. At that point you're going to tailgate mode. So you're going to notice after we activate this, what that does is shut down the stereo on the inside. It activates the 3rd amplifier. So now we're playing music in the back of the truck itself to our rear speakers. Let's go and show you how that works here. Okay, let's go outside. And this is our tailgate mode. This is tailgate mode at night. Let's take a look on the interior of the truck as well, how it looks at night. Thank you again for subscribing to our YouTube station. Catch us on our website at jmlaudio.com. We'll see you next time.